Guys, outside of contest mode raids, Vesper's Host was one of the most challenging things that I've done within Destiny 2, and I've been playing this game for a really long time. It was honestly surprising after things like Root of Nightmares to see that the Bungie devs have still got it in them to bring fresh, challenging content. And whilst I know that Destiny isn't in the best of spots right now, motivations are low, player counts are low, I 100% think it's worth spending the next few weeks doing even some basic preparation for the upcoming new dungeon in episode Heresy. Sundered Doctrine is the brand new dungeon, which again will have a contest mode, and it'll be going live just 3 days after the new episode launches. So that's very little time to unlock new artifact mods and all of that kind of stuff. So in today's video, I'm going to be going through what prep I'm going to be doing, how I do my prep and why. And hopefully some of you guys will find it helpful, or at least give you something to think about. And if that is the case, don't forget to drop a like down below. Let me know if you'll be attempting the new dungeon in contest mode. Anyway guys, for now, with all that said, let's get started. So as I said guys, Vesper's Host was actually really challenging in contest mode. The addition of having the timers for the different encounters, as well as the increased enemy difficulty, that kind of stuff, it really put builds and players to the test, myself included. What I think helped people to get through that though is having access to some of the grenade launcher perks such as kinetic impacts and things like that from the seasonal artifact. That additional damage on top of well put together and min-max builds was probably the difference between being able to clear encounters, do that little bit extra damage and get through things with the required timer still active. Obviously, I know people found a few cheese spots to stand in for the final boss, and there's the ball duping glitch that was in the first encounter, but honestly, not everybody was aware of that and used that at the time anyway. So what I'm getting at guys is we know now that these new dungeon types, these contest mode dungeons which we've only just started getting, are actually, you know, the real deal. They are going to give us a challenge, and therefore with that in mind, I think it's definitely worth doing some bounty prep and preparing your loadouts well for that particular content. Now obviously you can grind the hell out of the first week if you really want to, but I prefer to use this downtime where we're getting towards the end of content before a new drop, where there's not much going on anyway, to prepare the bounties and all that other good stuff. Now I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, myself and many other people have done this for a lot of years now, but briefly let's quickly talk about bounties. So there are 3 types of bounties. You have weekly bounties which give you 12,000 XP, you have daily bounties which give you 6,000 XP, and then you have additional or repeatable bounties which give you 3,000 XP. Now there are a ton of different ones that you can get. Weekly bounties, there aren't so many as there used to be, but these are what you're going to want to prioritize first, and you're going to want to do as many of these as you can on all 3 characters. Up on screen now are your sources for weekly bounties, and these are going to be some rotational and some are fixed. So for example, the clan bounties which you can pick up from Soraya Hawthorne in the tower, there are some fixed ones which are always there, and then there are some other ones that will rotate. So for example, one week you might be able to pick up one for completing 10 Crucible matches with clan members, then the next week there might be another one that's in there where you can get 20 assists or kills in Crucible with clan members. There's different ones for Gambit and stuff like that, and then there are fixed ones like completing a raid with the clan members and also completing dungeon encounters. So there's a ton of these that you can pick up. If you are actively running stuff with clan members, I definitely suggest picking these up and doing them on all 3 characters if you can. For the other rotational ones, we have the Empire Hunt on the harder difficulty, which changes with Varix. You can pick them up from Europa. And then we also have the Ascendant Challenge Bounty, which rotates weekly and can be picked up from Petra Revenge on the Dreaming City. Now obviously some of these, like Petra, who has 5 or 6 different Ascendant challenges that you can complete on a weekly rotation, you're now not going to be able to do all of those because there's only a couple of weeks left until the new episode launches. And you would have had to have started 5-6 weeks out to be able to get all of them, but don't worry about it. As long as you do as many bounties as you can on all 3 characters, then you'll be absolutely fine. You'll be good to go. So from the list that I put up on screen and what I've just said, what you're going to do is go through, do as many of those weekly bounties as you can pick up, A great way to track this is a website called destiny2recipes.com. You'll log in there with your Bungie ID like you would for any third-party website or tool, and this will track which bounties you've done, which ones you've completed, and how much XP you currently have. So from here you'll be able to track which weeklies you've done, which ones you're still able to do, and all that kind of stuff. So you'll want to go through, you'll want to complete all of your weekly bounties, as many as you can, and once you've satisfied that, you'll then want to fill out the rest with daily bounties. I do recommend doing the ones that Banshee gives out for the different weapons and things like that, because these will also give you weapon cores and stuff as well on top of the XP. And then you literally just want to fill out with as many daily bounties as you can. Don't bother with additional bounties, they only give you 3000 XP, it's not worth doing. Just do as many weeklies as you can and then your dailies. And you want to do this and you want to fill out all 3 of your characters until you've only got a couple of spots left on each one. The reason that I say to leave a couple of spots is because you may have a couple of quests and things to pick up on day 1 of Heresy, and you don't want to pop these bounties straight away. So once you've completed all of your bounties now before Heresy goes live, you're literally going to leave them in your inventory. You're not going to pop them, you're not going to complete them, you're just going to leave them there completed with the exclamation marks on them. Then what you're going to do on day 1 of Heresy is you are going to wait until you have progressed into the new story and you have acquired your new seasonal artifact. Once you've done that, you want to get yourself up to around level 5 in your season pass, so you want to do some activities, start doing some stuff, because this will unlock additional XP bonuses within your season pass. Once you've got to this point, you and a fire team member both need to be over this level 5, and then you're going to get something which is called Shared Wisdom. This is going to give you additional XP on top of what the bounties already have. And then you want to make sure that on your ghost you have your level 6 XP booster on there for an extra 12% on top as well, just to maximize the XP that you've got. So you're then going to want to go down onto a planet or somewhere until in your character menu you can see that you have this Shared Wisdom buff on the side, and then you'll literally pop all of the bounties that you've been storing up. And all of this XP goes onto your seasonal artifact, so you're going to be unlocking multiple different columns and perks for your seasonal artifact. You'll be really close to getting to that last column, if not already there, and then you'll be able to unlock whatever the more busted perks are from the seasonal artifact perk, which will obviously help you within that dungeon content. This is also going to boost your bonus power level, so you'll be moving up towards being able to do things like Grandmaster Nightfalls and Trials of Osiris without having to grind the game too much, because you've already got all that XP for the bonus power. So once you've done all that, finally you're then going to want to progress on to doing your first set or your first week of seasonal challenges. There's normally, I think, about 8 for the first week, 6 or 8, something like that, and each one of these that you do offer absolutely massive amounts of XP. These things can send you up 2 or 3 season ranks at a time, so you definitely want to make sure that after you've popped all your bounties, that is the next thing you do, and you are then going to be there or thereabouts on having that final column of perks unlocked for your artifact. Don't forget, guys, as well, it's not just about being a completionist or getting an emblem for completing the dungeon in contest mode. You're also going to guarantee yourself on your first clear whatever the new dungeon exotic is, because if you don't do that, once the contest mode ends, your hands are left into RNG, and you could be doing 10, 20, 30 plus clears of that dungeon until you actually get that exotic. The final thing I'm going to say about prep for this video, because I was going to include weapons in this one, or weapons that I think you should have to hand or make sure that you've farmed out for the new dungeon. I'm going to do that in a separate video, so this one isn't too long. But the final thing I would say, guys, is it's not confirmed obviously, but every time we get a new episode, normally there are new exotics for each of the different classes, and again, these might be something that is absolutely meta and could be used in the new dungeon. So what I suggest doing is, whilst you are completing your activities and doing these bounties, you're obviously going to be getting things like exotic engrams from playlist activities and other things like that. Store up as many exotic engrams as you can. Store them in your character, store them in your postmaster if you're overflowing. If you've still got exotic engrams in your season pass from this season, or this episode should I say, leave them in there because you can claim them next season from this season, because this is going to help you to max out your Rahul rank on day 1 of the new season as well. So obviously we know they changed the way to acquire exotic armor pieces, So nowadays, rather than going and farming lost sectors for an RNG drop chance, once you have completely maxed out your rank with Rahul to 16 and then reset the rank, you are now able to go across to the third page of exotic armors and directly buy the brand new exotic armor pieces. So if you store up a bunch of exotic engrams now, and make sure that you've got some ascendant shards to hand as well, if you do tier 3 focuses of armor on day 1, you will max out your rank in less than a few minutes, and you'll be able to buy the exotic armor piece for all 3 of your characters on day 1 as well. So if any of those are completely meta defining, you'll have your whole seasonal artifact unlocked and the brand new exotic armor pieces all ready to go on that first day of Heresy. So guys, that does bring us to the end of the video today. If you would like to see a video of me recommending not necessarily directly loadouts, but some of the gear that I'll be making sure that I've got hold of, weapon god rolls, that kind of stuff, for taking into the new dungeon, let me know down in the comments below, but I will try and put that video together in the next few days as well, just to give you a bit of time to go and grab anything that you don't have. As always, if there is any content that you would like to see me cover, make sure to let me know down in the comments below. But for now, wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day it is, I hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.